Hey, this is Mike Adams from Zoom. I'm the partner manager for Zoom based in London, looking after our partners in Europe. We love Xilos. We work very closely with them. And today we're going to talk about happy remote teams on video, how you can improve your video experience, your meeting experience with all your colleagues working remotely and in the office as well. Let's jump right into it. Really, it's all about meetings. Now, we spend so much time in meetings every single day, internal meetings, external meetings with your customers, your partners, your suppliers, meetings, meetings, meetings. That's all you hear about, right? And the reality is, we've all had a bad meeting experience where you try to connect to remote people and you've got a problem with their video, their sound, they cannot share content, there's compatibility problems. Now, we've all been there where we've had a bad meeting experience from a technical point of view. And so we want to help you. How do we change that around? How do we actually create a perfect meeting experience so all your meetings are always simple, always one click away, and you can ensure your colleagues can collaborate in the best possible way? And the reality is, no, there's already many, many meeting solutions out there. The market is flooded with different meeting products. And I'm sure in your own company, you probably already use 3, maybe 4 or 5 different meeting tools and products. Whether you're using Skype or Teams or Cisco WebEx or GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar and Polycom Rooms and Cisco Rooms, etc. It all gets very complicated. So how can we make it simple, easy, straightforward, so everything's always one click away? You don't have to worry about all those compatibility issues. And more importantly, you want to save money by having really a single platform to work with. And this is where Zoom comes in. Zoom is really there to help you deliver that ultimate meeting experience in a reliable, simple, consistent way, where it doesn't matter what other people are using in terms of products or services, they can all easily connect to your meetings. And more importantly, this is not just about video meetings. This is about every type of meeting, whether it's a face-to-face meeting with remote participants, on audio, on video, on chat, webinars, really all different forms of communication. Now, from an end user experience perspective, it's really simple. It is just a single click in Outlook. You just click on the button here below in Outlook or Google Calendar, a single click, and you're done. Your meeting is organized. You send a meeting invite, and everyone can join with a single click. You don't have to worry about anything else. The technical details will sort themselves out. That is the beauty of the Zoom experience, one click away. But really, I'm sure many of you already use other collaboration tools. And one of the big ones, of course, is Microsoft Teams. And that's great. We love Microsoft Teams. The idea is that Zoom can make your Microsoft Teams experience even better. We can improve, enhance, and enrich your Microsoft Teams experience. And the way it works is very simple. You use your Microsoft Teams client, as you already do today, to chat with your colleagues, to do one-to-one meetings. Perfect. But as soon as the meeting is a bit more complex, where you have external participants, or you want to connect to your meeting rooms, or you want to have a large meeting with more than 10, 15 people, you want everyone to look great even on a slow internet connection, this is where you're going to use Zoom inside of the Teams user interface. So in your Teams toolbar, with a single button, you can schedule a Zoom meeting or launch a Zoom meeting or join a Zoom meeting. You get all the benefits of the cutting edge experience of a Zoom meeting, which means much higher video quality, much higher sound quality, much lower bandwidth, and you can connect to any type of external participant, even if they don't have the same solution as you. So really, there's a seamless integration there where Zoom can really work very well in your Microsoft environment. On the other hand, if you have not deployed Microsoft Teams, we can also work instead of Teams as a complete end-to-end collaboration product. Up to you. Now, really what's important in every single meeting, the most important thing, is to have a great communication with your colleagues and customers. And that means you want to see their face. You want to see their facial expressions, their nonverbal cues. This is really critical. So what we believe is that in every meeting, everyone should turn on their camera, or at least they should have the option to turn on their camera. So in a Zoom meeting, you can have up to 1,000 people on video with their camera turned on, 1,000. And this is due to Zoom's unique technology to allow such a massive amounts of video feeds, even on a slow network connection. Now, this is great if your CEO wants to talk to all your employees once a month, maybe. You want to do a big company training session, an all-hands session. So there's many scenarios and use cases where it makes sense to have 1,000 people on a video call. Now, obviously, in your day-to-day meetings, you're not going to have 1,000 people. You might have 20 people or 30 people, and that's fine. If it works with 1,000, it can obviously work for 10, 20, 30 or less, of course. And the experience will always be great, even on a slow internet connection or on older devices. So really, that's the key point of that very rich video meeting experience. Now, sometimes you want to have a different type of meeting, like a broadcast meeting, what we call a webinar. So instead of having 1,000 people on video, you have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 presenters, but you have up to 50,000 attendees who can ask questions on the chat, do interactive polls and surveys, etc. So a webinar is really kind of a meeting where the participants don't see each other, but instead they can ask questions or just chat with each other. So really a very powerful type of meeting. And Zoom, of course, is great at webinars as well, right? So with your same Zoom user interface, you can do a meeting up to 1,000 people or a webinar up to 50,000 people. And beyond 50,000, Zoom can also stream live to YouTube or Facebook Live up to 1 billion people at the same time. Yes, I said 1 billion. So effectively, you can have the same universal meeting solution for meetings, webinars, and live stream. Very, very simple for all your different use cases. Now, what we just announced a couple of weeks ago is a new experience called immersive scenes. And that means that everyone on the call can feel like they're physically in the same space. So instead of having little rectangles for every participant, we take out their faces and put them in one big virtual meeting space. So on the picture you see there, I show a classroom with a bunch of students. You can also use that with a virtual meeting boardroom where people are sitting around the table. This can be used for a tribunal where you see the judges next to each other, even if in the real world they're thousands of kilometers apart. So really there's many scenarios where immersive scenes make sense. And the beauty of this is really to create that physical virtual impression that we're actually sitting around the same table. So again, improving that human psychology of talking to each other. Another really cool thing we've launched is live transcription. So it means that in a meeting, while you're talking, you have live subtitles. We use voice recognition as well as language interpretation at the same time to have that real-time subtitle, as well as a transcript of the entire meeting. It means you can search any recorded meeting, and that's very useful for training purposes, for compliance, etc. At the moment, we only support English for transcription. We're looking at adding more languages, but stay tuned for that. At the moment, only English. Now, another big part of the meeting experience is using virtual backgrounds. And I'm a big fan of virtual backgrounds. I've got hundreds of virtual backgrounds for every occasion, whether it's a personal meeting with my family, and I'll put some fun pictures of movies I like, or whether it's a business meeting where you want to put your company logo behind you. And it's really important that virtual backgrounds is not just a gimmick to make your meeting more funny. I mean, it is a serious data privacy protection measure where customers or people working from home, don't want to show their private things, their dirty laundry, their dirty, their interior. And so most people are a bit nervous about being on camera, and they usually turn off their camera because of that. So we are solving that problem by bringing virtual backgrounds to every single user. Doesn't matter if you've got a paid account or free account, everyone gets virtual backgrounds. And this is a game changer. And these virtual backgrounds can be an image, a picture with your company logo, for example, your customer's logo, if you really want to make your customer impressed by your presentation. And can also be a movie, like a MP4, like any kind of animation. But we take this one step further and also allow you to use PowerPoint as a virtual background. So PowerPoint slides is a virtual background. And that's exactly what I've been using for the last couple of minutes. You've seen me inside of my slides. So I look like a TV presenter. And it sounds like a simple feature, but it's a game changer in grabbing your customer's attention, grabbing your colleagues' attention. You really want to be part of your presentation and not just on the side of it. Now, one of the cool features of Zoom meetings and Zoom webinars is the ability to do polls. So ask interactive questions to your audience. And customers absolutely love this. It really makes it so much more engaging in any type of meeting. And it's really just a few clicks away. It's very, very, very simple to use. The other thing, which is really a standout feature, is what we call breakout rooms or virtual breakout rooms. And this is great for training sessions. If you've got 50 people in a meeting and maybe you want to do a 10-minute breakout, you just split them in 5 groups of 10 people as an example. Each group can chit chat for like 5-10 minutes about a specific topic. And then you bring them back into the main virtual meeting. And this really gives an extra edge in terms of engagement of all your participants. And I can tell you, many people are deploying Zoom specifically for this feature because it is really a game changer. I recommend you start trying it and using it. Now, we just announced a few weeks ago another really interesting development, which we call Zoom apps. And this is a third-party integration directly into the Zoom user interface while you're in a meeting. And we're going to have more than 35 Zoom apps, which are going to be available very shortly on our website. That means that while you're in a Zoom meeting, with a single click, you'll be able, for example, to have a live Dropbox shared papers to annotate the document together, or a Dropbox file. We've got another integration with Slack, so that you can bring Slack chat directly in your meeting. And we're looking to integrate with loads and loads of third-party applications directly within your meeting. And this is really positioning Zoom as an entire platform and not just a video conferencing product. Now, outside of meetings, we do also integrate with third-party applications, such as Microsoft Teams, of course. And we already have today more than 1,000 integrations with third-party applications in our marketplace. But Zoom Apps is really kind of the next generation of that, bringing the integration directly into the meeting. And we believe this is going to be a game changer for all your meetings. Now, one of the things we think about is physical boardrooms and meeting rooms. I know right now we're all working from home, we're all working remote, but one day, hopefully very soon, we're going to go back to the office, back into physical meeting rooms. And the problem is those meeting rooms, were probably mostly designed many, many years ago, was really old legacy technology. And I'm sure we've all been in a physical boardroom where we wanted to pull our hair out because we couldn't use the system properly, where we had the wrong adapter for our laptop, the wrong cable, the wrong remote control, the projector was turned off, we had to call the IT person to come and fix it. I think we've all been in these types of situations where typical meeting rooms are complicated to use, they're cumbersome, they're clunky, there's always problems, right? So how do we solve that problem? So Zoom has really reinvented the modern meeting room. And we call that Zoom Rooms. So Zoom Rooms is a complete reinvention of the entire meeting room experience of a physical boardroom. And this is kind of reinventing everything from a blank piece of paper. This is not just for video conferencing. I'm talking about the entire room experience. From the moment you book the room to when you walk in the room to when you leave the room, everything's included. So Zoom Room is all about the room experience. And that includes making phone calls, audio conferencing, video conferencing, of course, wireless presentation from your laptop to the projector, room booking and scheduling, digital signage to display your company logo on all the screens and the menu of the cafeteria or updates and news, and room controls to control the lights, the blinds, the air conditioning, etc. And then managing all your meeting rooms with a single management platform, right? So you can know room utilization reports, who has used which room when, etc. So really combining all these things creates a completely new user experience for boardrooms. And this can be applied to every size of rooms, small rooms, medium rooms, and very large rooms. Every size of room can benefit from this. It's the same universal experience. And it all comes down to the user interface. So the user interface of a Zoom room is really exciting. This is the next generation of meeting room user interfaces. This was designed to be ultra simple to use, even by a CEO with no technical experience. They can walk into a room, press a single button to launch their meeting, to share the presentation, to add a participant. But on the other hand, that same ultra simple user interface can be used for very complex meeting rooms with multiple cameras, multiple inputs, multiple outputs, etc. So really, you have the best of both worlds, the best of a complete room solution and the best of an ultra simple, ultra user-friendly one-click experience. So this is truly next generation. And I really encourage you to try the Zoom Room meeting experience in a boardroom. It is really incredible. Now, the biggest issue you might have, or biggest concern you might have, is what about compatibility? The last thing you want is to be locked down in a platform where you can only talk to yourself, and you can't talk to external companies. That's the last thing you want. You want to make sure that whatever you buy today is future-proof for the next 20 years, and most importantly, compatible with everything out there. So if you do business with a third-party company, you can easily do a video call with them, right? And this is where I'm here to give you some very good news. And that's that Zoom Rooms are universal meeting rooms. That means that they can connect to any other system out there. So if you deploy a bunch of Zoom rooms in your office, you've got that best-in-class user experience. But let's say one of your external vendors or customers or suppliers sends you a meeting invite and they don't use Zoom, they use something else. Whether they use Teams or Skype or BlueJeans or GoToMeeting, WebEx, doesn't matter what it is. They send you a meeting invite, not a problem. You simply forward that meeting invite to the Zoom room itself. Each Zoom room has an email address. Just forward it to the Zoom room. You walk into your Zoom room, and on the touch screen of the Zoom room, it will simply say join meeting, one click, and you're in. And that's it. It is truly a one-click experience. So your Zoom rooms are truly future-proof, and more importantly, are universal rooms. They connect to everything else. So you can rest assured you're not locked down in a Zoom world. You obviously have the best-in-class Zoom experience, but you can still connect to anyone else outside your organization. Now let's take an example of a new office. Let's say you're moving to a brand new office, and this is the floor plan of your new office. And you look at this floor plan, if you look at above me, there's a training room and all hands room and a lounge. If you look at near the entrance, there's a boardroom, there's a reception there, there's a cafe, there's lots of different spaces there. And if you look at this floor plan, now you're going to think about all the different requirements you might have to manage that space, that work plan, that workplace. You need a digital signage solution to display your company logo in all the hallways in the lounge. You need a room booking system to book all the rooms. You need a wireless presentation system in each room to be able to present your laptop to the projector. You need an audio system, a video system in each room. You're looking at lots of different things here. Well, the good news is Zoom is the only solution on the market which can do all of it. So Zoom with one single admin user interface, you can manage your entire workplace from a single view. You can see all your meeting rooms in one view. You can do room booking. You can do digital signage. You can do audio, video, wireless presentation. It's all included. So this is a game changer. It just makes your life so much easier to manage all this centrally. And of course, the idea is also to generate reports. So room utilization reports. If you're a facilities manager, an IT manager, this is great to know how people are using your workplace to make some adjustments, right? So this is really where Zoom shines. It kind of brings it to the next level. And how do you manage that? Well, we actually have provide an admin interface, which you can use to manage all your meeting spaces. But more importantly, that admin interface is also compatible with other meeting room systems, which is Polycom, LifeSize, Cisco, etc. So imagine you've got an office with a mixed estate of different meeting room solutions. You might have some old legacy Cisco video conferencing systems. You might have bought a bunch of new Poly video conferencing systems. You've got a bunch of Zoom rooms. It's kind of a mix of everything, right? Not a problem. Our admin interface will allow you to manage everything centrally. With a single view, you can push software updates to your Cisco codecs, your Poly codecs, to Zoom rooms, of course. All of that is centrally managed. So it really makes your life so much easier. And we include this for free with Zoom. Now let's talk about workplace reentry. Now we're going to go back to the office, hopefully in a few months. But of course, with social distancing rules, you kind of have to rethink about your office. How do you design your office for the new world post-COVID? So of course, many of us are working from home at the moment. That's what I'm doing. And you might have a laptop at home, which is great, but it's not the ideal meeting experience. So instead of having just a laptop, we encourage you to also have a dedicated video conferencing system on your desk, separate from your laptop. So you can work on your laptop and still have a live video call on the side. And so we have lots of solutions there to have a mini Zoom room system, if you like, a small touchscreen with a built-in Zoom room as a separate product on your desktop. And we work with lots of different hardware vendors to do this. So it really makes your life easier if you work from home. Then back in the office, you don't want your visitors and delivery people seeing your receptionist face-to-face for social distancing, of course. And so that's why we have now enabled a new solution, new feature for Zoom Room called Virtual Receptionist. So effectively, you can put a small Zoom Room for Touch display at the entrance of your office, and your real receptionist is actually behind the doors, behind a separate room, or even working remotely. And any visitor can now say hello to the receptionist and talk to them remotely without having to be physically in front of them. And then the problem, of course, is making sure your employees feel they stay connected to each other, even if they're actually far away from each other. So we recommend having a dedicated, permanent video conferencing system in the hallways of your offices, permanently connected to each other. So that means when people walk in the hallway or in your office, they can say hi to their colleagues who might be in a different building a few blocks down the road, or might be in a different country even. And effectively, those systems are connected 24/7. It's like a permanent connection between your offices. And that really allows that kind of inter-office experience. And then we can also easily design a production studio, simply a small Zoom room where you have a really good sound setup, a really good camera, and more importantly, a green screen behind you. So you can create broadcast sessions for your employees. So typically the CEO would sit in there maybe once a week or once a month to do a broadcast to all the employees. So this could be used for company-wide meetings, for webinars, or large meetings. And again, this is very easy to set up, right? You just paint a wall in green, install a small Zoom room, and off you go. And then what about classrooms and training rooms? You know, many of our customers are using training rooms for their employees, but obviously right now with social distancing, it's hard for everyone to sit down next to each other. So you can repurpose those classrooms and training rooms to be hybrid rooms, meaning the teacher can be physically in the room, but the students can be remote and the teacher can see the students remotely on their screen. Or you can have a mix where you have some students who are physically sitting in the room, but of course with social distancing in place, but a bunch of other students remotely on camera. And the beauty is everyone can see each other. It doesn't matter if you're physically in the room or you're remote. At the end of the day, everyone can see each other. It was a great experience. So that's really that hybrid room, classroom or training room deployment, which we can help you with Xalos, of course. Now, when we talk about Zoom, we don't talk just about video conferencing. What Zoom has done is to build a next generation video conferencing engine to provide you that incredible video experience with sharp images, sharp sound, great user experience. And we are using this technology, which is really next generation, unique technology, to bring you a complete collaboration platform. So when we talk about Zoom, it is not just about video conferencing. It's also about audio conferencing, about chat, about webinars, about meeting rooms like we just talked about digital signage, about room booking. It's pretty much all these things combined, which provide you that great end-to-end collaboration experience in your company. And of course, a part of that is telephony as well, phone systems. If you look at the evolution of communication technology over the last 30 years, there's been a lot of evolution in phone systems. Now, 30 years ago, we used to have a big standalone phone on our desk connected to an analog PBX system, and that moved to a digital PBX system, and that evolved into a cloud PBX system. And in parallel to that, the meeting experience has evolved from an audio conferencing solution to a video conferencing solution on premise to a cloud video conferencing solution. But what's happening today, in 2020, 2021, is that finally those two things are merging together into a single unified unified platform, which does really all of it together, which combines video, audio, and telephony as a single platform. And the benefit of having that single integrated platform for audio calls and video calls is, of course, to have a better user experience where you can escalate a phone call to a video call with a single click. It's great for IT administrators. You have only one license to manage for both audio and video. It's great from a cost perspective. You save a lot of money because those audio conference calls can now be blended into your video conference calls. So you're saving a lot of money there. So it really makes perfect sense to blend it together. And I can tell you today in 2021, many systems on the market still have a separate server for telephony and a separate server for video. So it's not obvious. Very few vendors are doing this. So Zoom is really cutting edge here, and it's changing the industry where our Zoom infrastructure is really a single infrastructure for both telephony and video calls. These are not two separate infrastructures. There's one single platform. So that makes a massive difference. And so this is where Zoom Phone comes in. So Zoom Phone is that really beautiful, simple, elegant telephony solution, 100% built for our video conferencing product. It's all built in together to work seamlessly together. And so today, we can deploy Zoom Phone in more than 43 countries, including Belgium, of course, obviously. That means we're effectively an operator, a carrier in 43 countries. And if you want to work with Zoom Phone, we can provide local numbers in 43 countries. We can dial out to more than 200 countries, right? So you can dial to any country. And more importantly, we can also integrate with your existing telco carrier, right? So either we can provide the telco service ourselves, or we can integrate with your existing carrier, one or the other, whatever you prefer. And we work with any standard headset, handset. So there's lots of different options there, but really you have that unified experience on your laptop, desktop, or mobile device. Now, when you talk about Zoom, it is truly a global solution, right? Even if you're based in Belgium, you might have some suppliers or customers in India or China or America. You want to make sure they can connect you easily. So we've deployed data centers all over the world with a unique technology to transmit video data from one data center to the other. So it always works great. But as a customer, you can choose where you want your data to be stored. If you want it to be stored in the US or if you want it to be stored in Europe. You can choose if you want your video traffic to go through the US, Europe, or Asia. You have that choice as a user to really give you that control over where your data is stored and being managed. Now, security obviously is top of mind for many of our customers. And many of our customers are security agencies, government agencies, where security is by far their #1 priority as well. So over the last 10 months, we've launched more than 200 new security features. And so Zoom is far ahead of the game in terms of security. One of the cool security features we have is a single security icon directly in the user interface. So with one click, you can immediately block someone from the call, stop annotation, etc. One click away. Make it really simple to reassure the meeting organizer they have control over the meeting. We also have launched a couple of weeks ago end-to-end encryption. So if you've got specific meetings which are ultra secure, with a single click you can enable end-to-end encryption. So the encryption keys are no longer on the Zoom server, but instead are on your local computer. It means that no one can interfere with your meeting or spy into your meeting. Now, by default, if you don't use end-to-end encryption, please know that every Zoom meeting is encrypted anyway, right? With the highest encryption solutions on the market. But as an extra security feature for ultra secure meetings, you can also enable end-to-end encryption. And this is available for free to all our customers, including our free customers. And we also added a video waiting room, which means when people are in a virtual waiting room, you can see their face. So again, it's a great security feature as a meeting organizer to decide if you want to let them in or not in your meeting, right? So if you look at all the security features of all the main meeting platforms on the market right now for enterprise solutions, Zoom is very far ahead of all other products on the market when it comes to security. So if you're really concerned about security, it's kind of your #1 priority, that's great. That's a great reason to use Zoom as your meeting platform because it's far ahead the most secure meeting platform on the market. Now, if you want to dig deeper into this, we've got lots of white papers about security, and we can set up a meeting with one of our security experts to really go into the extreme nitty-gritty detail of all these security features. Now, this year, we were very happy that Apple gave us the most prestigious award they possibly have, which is the Best of 2020 app. So Apple officially gave us an award for Best App of 2020, which is incredible. So Apple really recognized the quality of our application, how Zoom is really far ahead of the game. Zoom was the #1 app on the App Store for 68 days this year. So really far ahead of anything else out there. And we now have more than 300 million daily meeting participants in Zoom meetings. So Zoom is really everywhere. And what really made a difference in every customer's life is how happy they are using Zoom. The customer satisfaction of Zoom is really incredible. And we're very happy to deliver happiness to our customers. So really, if you're not happy with your current solution, or if you're happy but you've got some concerns over specific use cases, please try Zoom. Just do a free trial of Zoom. And no, we're very confident you'll be very happy because all our other customers are super happy. And that's what explains such an explosion in use, right? Really, it's all about your meeting experience, whether you're working from home or from your office after we can finally go back to the office. And so with Xylos and Zoom, we want to help you get the perfect remote meeting experience. Thank you very much. And if you've got more questions, you want to find out more about Zoom, please reach out to your Xylos account manager. I'd be more than happy to set up a free trial for you, set up a demo. So make sure you can be a happy user of Zoom as well. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.